It's hard for people to grasp because, and again, this should be really clear. I am, without a doubt, not trying to let him off the hook. What he did was horrible. If it was someone in my family that he hit with that car, I would be unbelievably furious. I'm incredibly disappointed in him. I think the UFC...
I got the Hall of Fame tonight, and then you're going to put me on this by walking down the street. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you so much. What's your name? Say your name publicly. Say it. Officer Nerd getting elected to the Hall of Fame, and now this is what I got. What did I do? What did I do? I hate you.
Joe Rogan couldn't hide his frustration. His voice carried the weight of years watching Jon Jones, a fighter of extraordinary talent, continuously spiral out of control. Rogan wasn't just upset, he was tired of watching someone so brilliant in the octagon throw it all away outside of it. He said it straight: no amount of greatness in the cage can excuse this ongoing mess in real life. To Rogan, Jones isn't just a fighter, he's someone Rogan has followed, praised, criticized, and supported for over a decade. But this latest scandal, it felt like deja vu. Yet another police report, another crazy story, another moment where people should have been talking about Jon's skills, but were instead stuck talking about his chaos.
Albuquerque Journal first reported the charges that stem from a car accident where a woman was found in the front passenger seat of one of the vehicles involved, and she was, quote, exhibiting signs of significant intoxication and lacking clothing from the waist down. The woman reportedly told police Jones was the driver of the vehicle, but he fled the scene on foot, a Jon Jones classic, a mainstay of Jon Jones's story, fleeing the scene on foot. She then called Jones.
The timing couldn't have been worse or more ridiculous. But literally a day after Dana White announced from Baku, Azerbaijan, that Jon Jones was retiring from MMA, reports hit the internet that Jones was facing yet another criminal charge. It was just a misdemeanor, yes, but still very serious. This time he was being accused of fleeing the scene of a car crash. The incident allegedly took place back on February 21st, and now he had a bond arraignment scheduled for July 24th. It felt like something out of a movie. But for Jones, that kind of drama is all too real and all too common.
Fighter of all time, who has failed drug tests multiple times, ruined events, beaten his wife, crashed a car while drunk, breaking a pregnant woman's arm, fleeing the scene on foot, only to come back and get his and lighter and pipe out of the car, headbutting and damaging a cop car, threatening violence against cops, and now this. I probably left some other out too, but now this. Drunk driving with a woman not wearing pants.
The details of the crash were wild, and for anyone familiar with the chaos that trails Jon Jones, it wasn't exactly surprising. According to the police report obtained by Daily Mail, an officer arrived at the scene on February 21st and found a woman in the passenger seat, incredibly drunk and wearing nothing from the waist down. That alone was disturbing, but then it got worse. The woman told police that Jon Jones himself had been driving. After the crash, she said, he fled the scene on foot. That claim set everything in motion.
But no, I would say, yeah, if you're beating up kids, beating up women, I guess vice versa, if you're women beating up dudes in relationship, pick on somebody your own size.
I've heard far worse ideas. I like it. I'm with you.
Yeah. I wonder though, did anybody tell Le'Veon Bell like the irony of him specifically saying Jon Jones, considering Jon Jones' past with domestic issues?
Yeah, Jon Jones has his fair share of history too, and I looked at the
Jon Jones's attorney, Christopher Dodd, jumped in fast to defend his client. He spoke to TMZ and didn't mince words. He said the whole case was outrageous and a waste of police resources. Dodd accused the police of going after Jones on purpose, claiming it was all about targeting Jon unfairly. According to him, Jon wasn't driving at all. In fact, Dodd claimed Jon wasn't even in the car. He painted a very different story. The woman, drunk and possibly facing a DWI, pointed the finger at Jones to avoid trouble herself. And the police, he said, just ran with it.
He's just a great fighter. Even if you stand in this room, I said, he's the dirtiest fighter ever. If you doing anything good on him, he's going to poke you in the eye. If you advancing on you doing anything good, you get the advantage, he's going to kick your knee backwards. For one, I think that knee kick, he's kicking you right on your kneecap, kick in the back. I think that should be banned. Like, my knee is still messed up from that.
Wow.
Yeah, because it hyperextended. He kicked it all the way back. Like, you can end people's careers with those moves. So think about all those spinning elbows he used to do in the beginning. Where did they land? Do you remember? On the back of
Now, even if Dodd's theory turns out to be true, that's not what upset Joe Rogan the most. What really got to him was that Jon put himself in this kind of situation again. Rogan, clearly upset on his podcast, said, "I'm not letting Jon off the hook. If you hit someone, especially someone who's pregnant, and flee the scene, that's not okay." Rogan made it personal. He said if it was someone in his own family, he'd be furious. Even if this whole case ends up falling apart, the simple fact that Jones was anywhere near it says so much about his choices. Jon Jones is likely going to jail, Rogan said bluntly.
Woman in the front passenger seat of one of the cars exhibiting signs of significant intoxication and lacking clothing from the waist down. I got this from the Albuquerque Journal, which was sent to me. The woman reportedly said Jones was the driver but fled the scene on foot. She didn't call Jones, the complaint stated, and a police service aide spoke to the man on the other end of the call, believed to be Jones. He appeared to be heavily intoxicated and made statements implying his capacity to employ lethal force.
And the story just kept getting messier. Jones had apparently disappeared for over a day. Rogan wondered out loud, was Jon trying to avoid getting tested for something? He didn't say as a wild guess. It's something people have suspected before. This isn't me letting him off easy, Rogan emphasized again. You don't hit someone and run. But then he also brought up something a little deeper. What about all those years of head trauma? Could CTE or brain damage be affecting Jon's decisions? Still, even with possible explanations, drugs, stress, brain injury, Rogan circled back to one truth. Jon Jones is a wild, uncontrollable force. That unpredictability, it's part of why he's so dangerous in the cage, but in real life it's dangerous in a whole different way. Rogan said, "If you're making millions, why the hell are you not paying someone to drive you?"
That's Jon Jones.
Jon Jones?
Mm-hmm. He was the one driving the vehicle.
But they don't waste their cases with just killing you on petty crimes. But they definitely listen to conversations like this, and some of them are bored enough to kill you.
This case kept going deeper. Dodd was shocked that the police had gone so far as to get a warrant for Jon's phone records for a misdemeanor. Dodd called it unheard of. To him, it just confirmed that the police were dead set on getting Jon no matter what. But the police report wasn't exactly clear either. A police aide said they spoke to a man linked to the crash who sounded very drunk and even said something about using lethal force through third parties. It was a chilling quote, and even though names weren't directly mentioned, it added a whole new level of concern. When police finally spoke to Jon himself, he said the woman had left his house earlier that day, already drunk. She called him after the crash.
Jon Jones hit with a new criminal charge in New Mexico for leaving the scene of an accident amid news of his retirement. Listen, y'all, this is nasty work. So I don't know if y'all watch UFC, but Jon Jones was a UFC champion, man. And he just announced his retirement. And I was wondering, how the fuck he's going to retire while he's the champion, bro? Like, why would you retire now? And then this news came out, and I was like, oh, it makes sense. Jon Jones about to do some time. He about to do some jail time, and he rather retire and give the...
Jon also told officers that someone else picked up the phone and immediately started using aggressive, unprofessional language. That made him question the whole thing. Who was this person? Why were they talking to him that way? The woman's side of the story wasn't any clearer. She said she went to Jones's house on February 20th at around 11:30 p.m. She admitted she had been drinking and even took mushrooms. At some point, she had what she called a restroom incident and took off her pants to change. She claimed her plan was for Jon to drive her home, but after that, she didn't remember anything. She said the last thing she remembers is being at the crash site and Jon Jones behind the wheel.
Opinion: if you're putting hands on a woman, it's fair game. I should be able to say what I want then. I'm not going after Stephen Thompson too much for anything, you know. Maybe a few things here and there, but I'm not going after the same way I would after Jon Jones. I don't think there's anything out of pocket about what I'm saying there, dude. He seems pretty scummy.
Joe Rogan was furious. Another mess, another stain on Jon's legacy. It's never just a traffic stop, he said. It's always chaos. Drunk people, mushrooms, fleeing, madness. Then came the kicker. Jones called the woman 13 times after the crash. Rogan asked, if you're innocent, why call 13 times? And if guilty, why call at all?
I look at his coaches. I see that these guys know that this kid will not change. He will not change. He's the same guy. He's rotten at his core, and he will continue to up.
Don't you think that people can learn from their mistakes?
Mistakes? Mistakes. You don't constantly make mistakes.
No?
You make mistakes, but you don't do them over and over and over and over. No.
Says who?
You don't do that. If you know when you make a mistake, it changes you. You try to make yourself better.
Not necessarily.
And this is, many times we've heard this speech. John, this isn't the first time you've told us this.
No,
Things got even stranger. The charge wasn't filed until 4 months later, just a day after Jon announced his retirement. Rogan couldn't take it. "We've seen this movie," he said. "We know how it ends. It wasn't just sad, it was frustratingly predictable." Then, Dana White dropped a bombshell. Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall was already signed. The fight fans begged for was real, until Jon suddenly quit. No warning, no explanation, just gone.
See something online, there's like 150,000 petitions. Jon Jones vacates the title.
Jon Jones is officially retired. Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the UFC.
I'm a company guy, you know, and there's a lot of things that's happening behind the scenes where my job is just sit.
Dana's Baku announcement shocked everyone. Aspinall had been calling for the fight and fans were ready. But instead of celebration, the headlines turned to Jon's legal trouble. The timing raised eyebrows. Was it all to dodge the fallout?
And of course, it's been pretty interesting, all the stuff that Jon Jones has been saying to the media this week. And I'm sure there's more to come, but check out these.
You're beating guys who aren't even champions and you consider yourself a champion. He's not a champion.
So Jon said I need to fight more champions, but this is the problem I've got. Jon is the champion and he won't fight me. And he says that he won't fight me because it's too much of a gamble.
Aspinall to me is no difference than an O.
Even Dana admitted it looked bad. Maybe that's why he retired, he said. Who knows? It was classic Jon. Big news, bigger chaos, then silence. "I think I'm done," Jon told them. And just like that, it was over. Jon was given time to think, but he didn't hesitate. The next day, legal trouble hit. With Jon, it's always unpredictable, calm 1 minute, chaos the next. Dana White admitted he didn't have all the answers. "You'll have to ask him," he said. For fans hoping to see Jones versus Aspinall, it was heartbreaking. That fight was more than a match, it was legacy. Now Jon's gone, and Aspinall stands alone with everyone wondering what could have been. Stephen A. Smith didn't hold back. On First Take, he blasted Jones for robbing fans of a legendary moment. "Just like boxing," he said, "we miss out on the fights we want most." Jones, he added, either fights or shuts down completely. You annoy him, he walks. Stephen's message was clear. Handle it, then retire. Don't run just because someone irritated you. It's not about you, it's about the fans. He reminded everyone how many people respect Jon despite the drama and how much they wanted to see him face Aspinall. Now Dana's planning the future with Aspinall. Jones has gone, and questions about his legacy hang in the air. End quote. Jones is gone, and questions about his legacy hang in the air. For Rogan, Stephen, and Dana, it's not a shock, but it's still a tragedy. They all saw it coming. That's what hurts most.